$1,980 a year. That is how much the average homestead makes. Actually, that's wrong. Minus $1,980. According to the USDA's recent study, small family farms lose almost $2,000 a year. It makes sense when you think about the cost of hay, you think about the cost of fuel, all your inputs, feed, animals, livestock, all the expenses. It actually makes sense that most homesteads and family farms lose money, but you don't have to. Alyssa is homesteading on less than an acre, and yet every weekend she's making almost $1,000 from her homestead. How? Well, the same way that Jess and Robin
Hello everyone.
Hi everyone, I just
took their failing family farm businesses and flipped them around into profiting, thriving family farms. Most people don't make money from their homestead, but you can, and in this video we're going to tell you how these 3 homesteads earned $75,000.
How did I make it big?
What they were selling, why it made them good money. We're going to tell you what most people do wrong and how you can avoid it so that you can actually make some money from your homestead, pay for your animals, make all this work. Why are so many homesteaders not profitable? Why are so many homesteaders losing money on their family farms? Honestly, they're doomed from the start. Most people start their homestead business the wrong way and they never change, and so they're never profitable. I know this firsthand because we made this very mistake. It was 2012. We had just moved to the country and we got the idea, you know what? Let's get some chickens. We were really reasonable. We decided we're gonna get chickens, but we only got like 3 chickens because we didn't know what we were doing. We were new at this. We got our chickens and then we got those first farm fresh eggs. And that's what gets you into trouble because, oh man, farm fresh eggs are so good. And we only had 3 of them and we were like, we need more chickens. So we got some more chickens, just a couple more. And then we got a couple more. We're finding them on Craigslist. People were dropping chickens off at our farm. Summer came and we were at the height of egg laying season and we were drowning in eggs. I'm suddenly feeling very entrepreneurial. I think I'll start a homestead business. We did. We set up a little farm stand. We painted a sign with our farm name and our website. We put it down at the end of our driveway with a cooler full of farm fresh eggs, and we started selling all the extra farm fresh eggs. Things just started cascading from there, right? We started raising meat chickens. We thought, well, we'll sell some extra meat chickens. Then we moved on to pastured pigs. We sold some pastured pork. For the last decade plus that we've been homesteading, we've been doing this. We've been selling the extra farm fresh eggs and the extra pastured pork, and even this last summer we had a really big extra bumper crop of bottle baby lambs. And so we decided, you know what, we're gonna take these extra lambs and we're gonna sell them. We brought them to the auction to sell them. And it was a hot summer day. And we're out there in the dust, setting up and grabbing them, wrestling with them. We're gonna be bringing all these guys to market soon. Probably 5 lambs we're gonna be bringing down to bring to the auction. And we'll see how much money we make off our lamb crop this year. What's your guess?
I'm gonna guess $1,000.
$1,000? All right. So we've been doing this, we've been selling our extras, our extra eggs, our extra lambs, our extra pork. What's the mistake here? What's the mistake that so many homesteaders make? Well, this is the mistake. They find a way to make money and they confuse it as a way to make good money. There's a lot of different ways to make money off our homesteads. Some of them are good ways, some of them are bad ways. Taking the things that we raise on our homestead and selling them and making a little bit of money from them. It is a way to make money, but it is a very bad way to make money. Why? Well, think about it. When you're selling farm goods like eggs off of your homestead, if that's your primary business, think about it like this. So here you have your homestead, right? You have a John Siskovich chicken tractor with a dozen egg-laying chickens in it. And you have 2 buckets in your hand. You have a bucket of feed and you have a bucket of water. And you go out to your chicken tractor every day and you feed your chickens and you water your chickens and you collect the eggs. You're getting a dozen eggs each day. So then you're thinking, you know what? I want to make some money from this homestead. I'm going to grow my flock so that I can make some money. So here's what happens. This chicken tractor is maxed out. So to make some money, we put up another chicken tractor. And now what we've done is we've doubled our workload, because even though we're walking out on the same path every day, now we actually have to carry 2 buckets of water
and 2 buckets of food. And when we get out there, we have to move not 1, but 2 chicken tractors forward.
We have to feed and water twice as many chickens. We have to collect another dozen eggs, and then we have to carry twice as much all the way back to the house and wash twice as much eggs.
So this is the problem. We want to make money on our homestead, and even just starting off in this direction, we've doubled our workload, right? We have to work more if we want to make some money, but the problem with selling these farm goods is we're really just getting started. This is where things start to get really bad. Farm fresh eggs in our area don't fetch a premium. People don't want to spend a lot of money for farm fresh eggs. This is not profitable. So if we want to make money, well, there's 3 choices that we have to make. There's 3 things we could do that could help us make more money. The first is we can increase the price, right? What we're charging our customers. But generally when we increase the price, what's going to happen is we're going to lose customers. And if we're brand new and we don't have that many customers to start with, we can't afford to lose any. Instead of increasing the price, what a lot of homesteaders do is they increase their production. They increase how much product they have to sell.
So they build another Siskovich chicken tractor.
And they're collecting another dozen eggs. And now they have to carry 3 times as much back to the house and wash 3 times as much egg.
When we add a 3rd chicken tractor, what are we also adding? We're actually tripling our workload to become profitable. We don't always want to increase our price. We definitely don't want to increase our workload. What should we focus on doing? Remember, don't multiply your product. Multiply your profit. This is where we start getting into the secret. Why some homesteaders are really profitable and why most are losing money. The secret is you have to stop selling eggs and you have to start selling stop selling eggs and you have to start selling egg. And Jess from Desert Trails Homestead.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Homestead in the desert.
She learned this the hard way. She lost a lot of money at first. How much? It was 2020. You remember 2020? 2020, Jess and her family did what a lot of you did. Comment below, you know who you are. Went and got chickens because of 2020. We got some chickens and she started learning how to bake bread. And of course, the natural progression to getting a couple chickens and baking some bread is deciding to go and buy a homestead. So they did, and they went and they started a homestead in the desert. She says, we originally had ambitions to raise meat chickens and meat turkeys for the public, and I wanted to raise dairy goats to sell the milk. So she had all these ideas, some meat turkeys, some meat chickens, milk goats. She was officially starting a homestead business based off the extra things she was producing for her and her family, right? How much money did she rake in doing this? She lost $5,000. Why? Her words, the market just isn't here. Let me repeat what Jess said because that's a problem that a lot of us are gonna face. Where she lived, the market just isn't here. Lots of you watching have probably found this out the hard way when you opened up your farm fresh egg stand. You open up your stand, maybe you build a little website and you start selling your eggs and you start selling your chickens, farm fresh pork, and you realize that your neighbors around you, for the most part, they're not your market. They don't want to spend the premium that you need to ask to actually make some money off your farm fresh eggs. A lot of us homestead business entrepreneurs, we just kind of keep barreling on through. We think, you know what, we're doing something good, we're providing food to our neighbors, and you know, if I don't make a bunch of money, I'm not really in it for the money. But that erodes our homestead. It makes us work harder for less. It costs us. It's not, what's the word we're all looking for? Regenerative? It's not regenerative, it's causing our farm to collapse in on itself, and we have to stop losing money when we're sharing what we've produced as premium with our friends and our neighbors. Jess, instead of just plowing through, or worse, giving up and stopping her business, she just stopped, she paused her business, and she started trying to figure out what did her local market actually want. Jess didn't figure this out overnight, right? Doing market research, trying to figure out what you should be selling, it takes a little bit of time. And it all happened for her thanks to a friend. Jess had a friend who had a local creative studio where she would do classes, workshops, and she asked Jess if she would teach a sourdough bread workshop. Remember, Jess had started baking bread. And so Jess was like, yeah, why not? She went and she taught a class. And she said, my business exploded. Wouldn't that be awesome if your homestead business exploded, like in a good way. From there, she just kept doing workshops. She did a how to make butter workshop. She did canning workshop. She did a how to make cheese workshop. All different types of workshops. She says it's been absolutely amazing. How amazing? $15,000. Amazing. When she factors in all the costs of her homestead, everything she's doing, and the money she's earning, she's actually profiting about 30%, which is fantastic. And her husband have actually taken this idea and they've expanded it. Not only are they selling their expertise in the form of workshops, but they're selling their expertise in their skills. Her husband does butchering. He's learned to butcher thanks to having a homestead and butchering a bunch of animals. Now he charges other people to do butchering. So now we have the first thing that you should be looking to make money from off your homestead in our egg. Expertise. Jess said it best. She says, skills and education have the best profit margin since there is little or no expense right off the bat. When you're selling farm fresh eggs, there is a ton of expenses. You're buying the chickens, you're buying the feed, you have the coop, you have to heat the coop, and you have to cool the coop and clean the coop and the shavings. But if you do a workshop where you teach people how to raise farm fresh chickens, it's your time and it's your expertise. Maybe the gasoline to get to the workshop if it's an in-person workshop. Jess is actually about to level up. She's moving to a much bigger ranch in Colorado where not only is she going to keep doing workshops, but you can go Airbnb, stay at the ranch, learn about homestead life. It sounds really, really cool. So we'll have links below to Jess where you can go and check out what she's up to. But we still have 2 more homestead businesses that we got to look at because there's thousands of more dollars being made and some really good lessons and 2 more letters in our acronym that we need to figure out what they mean. Now I know what you're saying right now. Ost, I'm not like Jess. I don't live in this wonderful place that's so easy to make money from homesteading, the desert. I live in the city. You can't make money as a homesteader in the city. Don't tell that to Alyssa. Alyssa also, because of 2020, she started a little tiny urban homestead, less than an acre. And around the same time also started a micro bakery. And she is making a killing from her micro bakery and urban homestead in the middle of the city. Now her journey actually started years and years ago, and it started out of tragedy. She talks about her baking journey and where it all began. She says, I started baking as a child with my parents and it quickly became my favorite activity. My mom was my first teacher, showing me how to make banana nut bread as a toddler. When Alyssa was 14 years old, her father unexpectedly passed away. We lost my father very unexpectedly, and I began to bake through the grief. My mom bought me my first KitchenAid mixer that year. She did everything she could to help me get through that tough season of life. It was at this point that Alyssa decided to go to culinary school. This love of baking was flourishing and she decided she wanted to become a pastry chef. So to get there, she just started baking anywhere she could. She actually would go to different kitchens and offer her services for free. She just volunteered there just to get some skills and try to get her on the right path to getting into culinary school. One thing led to another. She wound up getting the schooling that she wanted, learning hands-on in these incredible restaurants and rubbing shoulders with professionals who helped her perfect her craft. And she got to the point where she actually opened up her bakery. So how much is she making from that bakery? Nothing. 0. She closed the bakery. She got married and had a honeymoon baby. And raising a new baby, we've done that a few times. Yeah, it was too much to run the bakery and have the newborn baby and the growing family. And so Alyssa closed down that bakery. But as often is the case, we wind up going back to the things we love to do, right? And after her third baby was born, Alyssa got back into baking again. She found purpose and she found happiness. And Around the same time she had started up this little homestead. It was 2020. There was a pandemic. She got the chickens. And in the city on this less than an acre, 0.14% of an acre, she started growing and producing food. And she started having some extra food that she decided to start giving away to her friends and neighbors. And she found that her neighbors, the city folk around her, they really appreciated having a fresh baked loaf of bread, something that was homemade, something with good quality. They were willing to pay the premium for that fresh baked bread. Alyssa was enjoying this so much, and lots of people seemed to want the product, they decided to open up a micro bakery. What's a micro bakery? Well, you know on Instagram, have you ever seen those videos where people bake those little teeny tiny foods? Yeah, it's not that. A micro bakery is just a small little bakery that you run by yourself out of an ADU, out of an apartment, out of a secondary kitchen. You don't have an official bakery downtown. You just do it from home, and depending on your state, your town, and your local laws, you're able to sell certain things like breads and pies and cookies and jams, and that's what Alyssa did. Because she had the urban homestead, she had all these amazing farm fresh ingredients, right? She had farm fresh eggs. She had herbs and spices and things she could add to make her homemade products even better. Her market around her appreciated that homemade quality that they couldn't really find being in the city. And she was able to actually make money off of something like an egg, not by selling the dozen of eggs, but by taking the eggs, cracking them, putting in the batter, and using her farm fresh eggs and her farm fresh produce in the bread. So this brings us to the second point, the second thing we should be actually trying to make money from off our homesteads. We don't want to sell goods. We want to sell goodies. If Alyssa had just started selling farm fresh eggs, goods, she wouldn't really be making much profit. But the fact that she takes those eggs and all the other things and she turns it into a value-added product, a goodie, something people are willing to pay a premium for, something that they cherish and they share with their friends and they wait for every single week, that's a goodie. That's a value-added product. When we're selling a dozen eggs, we're going in direct competition with a grocery store. And when people shop for groceries and gasoline and all the needs in their life, well, that's a race to the bottom. They're just looking for the best quality at the lowest price. When you sell goods, you're always going to be in a race to the bottom. But when you sell goodies, when you sell goodies, people will pay the premium for it. They'll wait for it. Alyssa starts her prep on Wednesday. She starts all the baking and all the cooking, and she does a farmer's market where she makes the most money, usually somewhere between $600 to $1,000 on the weekend. And then she has, later on in that week, she'll have a porch pickup where some people will come and actually just grab their bag off the porch. And she's hoping to build more and more porch pickup customers so she doesn't even have to go set up at the farmer's market. She can just stay in her little micro bakery and bake all the goods and have people come right to her porch, pick it up. What an awesome business model. How awesome? How much is she making? $30,000. $30,000 from her micro bakery and teeny tiny urban homestead. Let that sink in. This is a mom who's working from home. She's got 3 kids, a husband who works, she's got a busy life, she's keeping house, taking care of kids, and in all that spare time that she has, she's running a micro bakery and making her family $30,000. And 50% of what she's making is profit. That is an awesome business model. Now, what about those unfortunates who are watching who are thinking, I don't live in the desert, I don't live in the city, I just have a regular old homestead in the country. Is there any way for me to make any money off that homestead? That'll bring us to the third thing that we want to focus on when we're selling egg. Go. We're gonna go now to Michigan, to Blueville Acres. That's where we find Robin and her family.
Good morning. I just wanted to give everyone a field update. I'm walking through our main row. This is rows.
Robin and her family actually bought an existing blueberry farm. So you're thinking, well, that's cheating, right? She already bought a business. That's why she's making the most profit out of anybody that we're gonna look at today. Well, no, because when they bought this business, it was really kind of a failing business. Blueville Acres was a small U-pick blueberry farm, 2 acres of blueberry bushes on about a 5-acre farm. Every year was just paying for the taxes for the property, which is nice. For some of us, the idea of just paying for our taxes and our expenses is all we really want from a homestead side hustle. And if that's all you want for your homestead side hustle, your homestead business, that's fine. But if we're trying to build a thriving business, one that maybe we could even someday quit our job and just do that full time, we have to do better than just pay our taxes. And that's what Robin tried to figure out, how she could do better than just paying the taxes. U-pick blueberries is a short season, just July through August. So Robin had people coming onto the farm, picking blueberries, leaving, and she was just scraping by. So what did she do to fix that? Well, she copied McDonald's. She offered mass quantities of low-quality factory farmed food? No. She asked people, would you like fries with that? You see, she realized that people were coming to her farm for just a short period of time, just a short little window, and they were picking berries. And in that short window, the only sale she was making was the berries that they picked. So she realized she could ask people, would you like something else? Would you like this? Would you like that? An upsell. What did they want? Well, there was only one way to find out. Start offering all kinds of things to them and seeing what was popular. So they did. They started adding chicken eggs and Thanksgiving turkeys and sheep and lamb meat. They had a dairy cow, so they offered some milk shares. They did goat milk shares and pastured pork, raw honey, maple syrup. Because of all the extra things, this little farm market became part of the experience, and so they added in t-shirts, stickers, they did freeze-dried food, they started doing garden veggies and fresh cut flowers and berries and jams. They tried all kinds of things, and honestly, Robin said it was too much to do everything, but she just wanted to figure out what worked. Well, more and more people started coming and not only doing the U-pick farm, but buying all these goods, and more people talked about it. And Robin started getting groups who wanted to come and do like school field trips and group activities. She started getting lots of people wanting to come onto this U-pick farm, do the U-pick experience, buy some of the fresh goods, see the animals. So much so that she actually started having a problem. Saturday, so many people were coming to the homestead. There was actually too many people because it was such a popular place to go. People wanted to go there. What did Robin start doing? How did she start making the most profit off this enterprise? She started charging admission. She's like Taylor Swift of the homestead business world.
Taylor Swift fans got a shot today at buying tickets for her upcoming tour.
The website fully crashed. I waited in line for like 6 hours.
And this is how Robin turned a failing family farm business, that's a mouthful, failing family farm business, into a super profitable homestead. Think about it, when you're paying admission, you're just paying to be there. The profit margin on admission is huge. And that's the final thing we want to focus on, the go. We want to create a place or an event that people want to go to and they will just pay you to be at. You already have the homestead. That's your land, and you're already paying for all of this. And if you have to add another cow to the mix, that's more money. And if you have to add more chickens,
Cluckety cluck.
that's more cost to you. But if you just charge a person to come and be there, and they love being there because it's a cool place, there's no added expense on your part. You're just making more money. And this is not just something that U-pick farms can do. This is something we can all do in the form of on-farm events, open farm days, Airbnbs, put up a yurt, do farm tours, charge people to come and enjoy this because they will. People love visiting homesteads. They love seeing animals. Figure out ways to get people to want to go to your homestead and then charge them to do it. And now Robin, how much is Robin making? It's a big one. $30,000, but $20,000 of that is all profit. In a second, I'm going to tell you how much money we made off our lambs and talk about whether or not that was a good way to make money from our homestead. But first, I wanted to thank Alyssa, Jess, Robin, for sharing that information. We actually have a questionnaire back at our website, thisishomesteady.com. If you are making money from your homestead, there's a link in the description below to fill out that survey. Tell us how you're doing it, and maybe we'll feature you on an upcoming video, just like we did with Jess, Alyssa, and Robin in this video. And we have links below to Jess, Alyssa, and Robin's social media accounts. You can see what they're doing, see how their businesses work, and if you're near them, you can become customers of theirs, which would be super awesome. Now, here's one of the coolest things about this whole process. When you start focusing on selling egg, what's gonna happen is, through this process, you're going to get more customers who really value your farm, your homestead. There are going to be more people on your homestead, on your farm, there to make purchases. And with that, you can actually start selling eggs again. Remember I talked about at the beginning how all these years that we've been doing homestead business, we still do sell eggs. We still do sell pastured pork, even the lambs that we had this season. All right, let's hope they all follow. Bottle feed lambs, they cost us a couple $100s in lamb formula, and it was a lot of labor, but the kids did all the labor. They fed the baby lambs, and because the kids did all the labor, we paid for the expense of the formula, and then we let the kids keep the profit. Here we go. Right in. That worked good. Okay. We just got our check in the mail from the livestock auction from all the sheep and goats that we sold. Let's see how we did.
$583
For the goats?
for everything. Plus 1,000.
Whoa!
$1,583. Cha-ching.
So let's see.
There's nothing wrong with selling the little bit of extras on the side, but if you want to build a profitable homestead business, you have to build it around egg. Your expert, oh, that's not even, where'd it go? You have to focus on selling egg. If up to this point you've been struggling with your homestead business, one of the best lessons you can learn from this video is don't give up. Jess lost $5,000 at first, but she figured out how to flip that around to become very profitable. Alyssa had to close her entire bakery. Imagine how hard of a decision that was after getting so far in her life and building towards that. But she restarted, and she's probably got a better profit margin now off her micro bakery than her bakery would have. And Robin, she was just scraping by paying the expenses, the taxes, and now she is profiting how much? $20,000, 66% profit. If you want to make more money from your homestead, we actually have a whole program designed to help you. It's the Homesteady Pioneer Pro program. Homesteady Pioneer program will give you access to all our bonus content, but the Pro program will also give you access to our Make Money Homesteading course. You can click there to learn more, become a Homesteady Pioneer, take our Make Money Homesteading course. We walk you through the process of figuring out what you should be selling more of and what you should be selling less of.